Okay, I'm live. Okay, okay. So how many of you are it? So we can everyone can connect or everyone can chat only in the live stream. So just go with the live stream and then you can chat over there. Okay, no need to check in the Teams portal. So I'll be just pointing out the chat message. So you can just ping me out how many of you have completed the certification or just started it right now. If you haven't, there will be an enroll option and you can click on enroll here. You will click on enroll here, and then once that is done, then you can go ahead. But before that, again, you need to go back to certification, RP Associate Learning Plan. Let's start from the first one, that is pre-survey, and then let's give out all our details. So I have more than 5 years of experience. Just continue with the flow. How many years of experience working? More than 5. Do you have programming knowledge? Yes. Consider current role as technical? Yes. So you can ignore the not required ones. Yep. So let's go ahead and start. Back. Just be active on the chat in the live. So if you have any questions, rather than just talking, just go ahead and tell me how exactly are you or where exactly are you stuck so that I can help out. First, let's start with introduction to RPA and automation. Let's enroll for this one. Start learning now. Start module. So everyone will go at their own pace. There is no need to rush or there is no need to be very slow. Just go at your pace and make sure you complete the activity. That's the main important goal of this one. Start module. Okay. Get to the world. Okay. What we also will do is we will skip some of the things that are not required. Might be we already know what this course is about, so rather than explaining or getting into details, most of the videos or most of the content we'll skip so that we'll make it faster.
The lesson title in the menu.
Okay,
Settings.
no need to check with this. Let's go with what is RPA and automation. Just ping me out in the chat and tell me if you have any queries or any questions. Were you able to continue it till now? Find out yourself RP automation. Take main request. Okay, these for every module, these are the uh, important concepts or important pointers that you need to check. Okay, now what is RPA? RPA is mainly a software, uh, computer software. It is used to mimic or do the same actions what a human does in any application. For example, if I want to click on something, I will go ahead, but instead of me doing it, I will have a robot to do it. And since these are available all the time, like if you want to run it 24/7, you can still run it. And if the items or if you are just going with more robots at a time, like if you want 24/7 is not sufficient, if you want to add one more robot, you will still be able to do that. Okay, so well, when we are working with RPA or when we are working with especially with any tools of RPA, the main important concepts or the things that matters are we actually will be able to integrate multiple systems in a shorter period. So if you are seeing, like instead of doing just the desktop automation, we can integrate it with Python and we can work with other activities like we can use the Python libraries, Python activities and all. Okay, next. Well, when it's saying reduces the cost rapidly and increases return on investment. So though there is an initial investment that we are doing for RPA, like with the licensing and with the orchestrator, but when you are seeing an end goal, when you are looking at a bigger picture, your the amount that you save will be higher than what you spend. So that is the reason many organizations are going with RPA as their goal. And one last important point, or you can say, the definition of RPA in the recent times is we can automate highly manual, repetitive, and rule-based process. So even in the interviews, when you are asked or given a scenario that okay, what type of automations can you do, then the simple answer can be there are three checklists. It should be highly manual and repetitive. You cannot have irregular activities or irregular steps, and it should be on rule based. Like if there is a particular rule, it should robot should perform on that rule. It should not go to and forth. Finally, these are the keywords: a robot, digital transformation, and can anyone build automation? So robot again is a software, like any other software, but instead of it you working with the software, robot actually works with another software. Digital transformation, where we are trying to upskill ourselves to make sure that we are in line with the market and we are working with the latest trends and technologies. So we are making ourselves enabled with the digital transformation here. Well, can anyone, like there might be many people who have joined um, this particular stream. Can you automate or can you do any kind of automation? Simple answer is yes, and the broader answer is no. You cannot just in the beginning, maybe you can start with simple activities, but as you go further, you need to learn what you want. You need to understand what you need. So that's what anyone can build solution automation is about. So initially, yes, shorter versions of code you can definitely build without any knowledge in development. But as you go further, you need to learn. That's for sure. Let's continue and let's see. Um, Multiple technologies. Let's see how automation is driving the digital transformation. Again, we'll be working with the context more because this is where we will discuss rather than going with the videos, only with the videos. I hope we are good till now. If you are having any questions or if you are checking with any other details, just give it out in the chat. Okay. Now, when we are saying digital transformation will not come only with RPA, but digital transformation, RPA plays a small part or a key role in making organizations to move towards digital transformation. Okay, so for an organization to be digitally transformed, the main important concepts or the main important points that we need to see are what are the current activities that current organization is doing. Do we have process maps and is the work standardized in any particular organization is what we need to see. If the work is standardized, how can we automate it or how can we enhance the productivity that we are working on is also what we need to look at. So maybe in the previous video we have some concepts of digital transformation, but we need to have new skills, and we cannot depend on the same writing the code in JavaScript, or writing the code in .NET, or writing the code in any kind of programming language. The main reason being, when we are going with technology, or when we are moving with technology, the faster you connect with people, the faster you create solutions, the faster you deploy the solutions into the market. That's how you are going to give better experiences to people. So with respect to digital transformation, you need to have new skills, there will be new roles that will be created, and you will have a complete different knowledge of what we are currently doing now. Maybe you're just working on an IT field, maybe you're doing a support role. That support role might be a bot, and you need to maintain a bot instead of maintaining a support role. So that kind of transformation can happen. So along with work creation or work understanding, what is your current work, you also need to focus on digital optimization. A simple example can be, like, we can just take a simple example, like, there is a form filling, and if we manually do it, then there is a lot of manual activity. Someone need to sit, write a form and send it, give it to someone, and they need to understand, and again they need to do data entry. Now a simple form created in Google, and send it over, and everyone directly entering in the form, though it's a small kind of activity, but that is what making a bigger difference. Instead of waiting for someone's responses, we are directly getting out the results. Okay, so along with this, there are many legacy applications right now in the market, but if you want to automate, or if you want to connect them with the modern applications with APIs, that is not possible, and development on it cannot be done. So instead of doing that, instead of manual activity, robot will do all the manual activity and give out responses, because RPA can be integrated, or the method of integrating can be done by a robot, since the robot stays in the machine, and also it has the capability to work with APIs. Let's quickly go ahead, not going too much into the story and the videos, because if we go ahead and see each and every video, then it will take longer time. We will just concentrate on what exactly is required, and how exactly we will be able to understand this particular concepts. So can you guys go ahead and tell me if you like this particular stream? Just give it out a thumbs up, as well as give out your messages in the chat. Let's see how far we will continue. Content. Okay. So what lies ahead? RPA itself is a very useful tool. But with RPA, there are many other sub tools, like the technology has many tools like UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and Blue Prism, and Nice, all the other tools. So right now we'll be concentrating on UiPath, which is the market leader in RPA space. Okay, so instead of checking with enhancement, let's go continue further. So we'll also see mid takeaways. These are important, because even if you miss the video, so see here, if you want to make a faster learning, and if you are a bit of technical person, rather than watching the complete videos, go with the important concepts. That's what will help you out in covering most of the topics much faster, in much faster way. So will RPA only will be sufficient to give you automation solutions? Uh, the answer would be no, because RPA can only mimic what a human can do, but the decision making, and if you want to implement some AI, or if you want to implement some Python libraries, then you may need to tend to rely on some external libraries or external tools or external languages. So, but the integration can be done using RPA. Okay. Now, here if you see RPA alone solely structured digital document. So, uh, if you want, so right now UiPath have document understanding built in. So, if you want to have digital documents and if you want to extract data from it, together with AI and ML models, you will still be able to get all the details. So, all the initial discussion or all the initial data that we are trying to learn here are uh, are the basic details of how you can start with the at least with the learning of automation rather than directly going into the code and trying to write with the code. But first you need to understand how you need to start even before you start writing the code, how you need to understand the concepts. So this is like a plot laying, there is a plot that's being laid and we are just getting into the story. So let's see how automation in the business is useful. So again, this is a 15-minute duration. Automation in business. Okay, there are multiple videos. So we'll go directly with this. And what are the different industries where automation can be used, like banking, education, health sector, public insurance, profit NGO. So even if you are from a non-technical background or into business or into any kind of different industry, where you need to implement automation or where we need to implement RPA. So this particular activity or this particular slide can give you out more details on what are the other different tools or what are the other different industries where we can apply this. So data analytics, there are some key figures that are given, but if we need to really see this and try to understand, it will take time. So just let's go ahead and skip what is required. So if you are a business leader and if you are going to provide delivery some solutions, then these will be important to understand and to give out presentations. But if you are a developer, you can just skip out for now. Okay, so let's take main takeaways. Now, this is the important point. Everyone will ask, will automation industry be in only in IT field? See, automation industry is industry agnostic, if you ask me. So every industry has a manual work and that can be replicated or implemented with RPA. So RPA can scale up to different industries. So that is the reason we have a bigger boom right now in the market and we will still be able to continue it even after 5 years or 10 years. So let's see with the automation journey. Okay. Okay. Here in this particular automation journey, this is mainly about from the initial discovery phase till you engage people and robots for seamless collaboration. So you need to work with robot and robot need to work with you hand in hand. So how that kind of digital transformation can happen is what all this is about. So let's see channel content. Okay. So let's quickly watch this video because this particular video will be
No
helpful.
matter where you are in your automation journey, let's have a conversation
So instead of
about implementing and scaling RPA.
playing it at 1x, let's play it at 2x. It will be easier for you. So there will be basic images to try to give you some gist about RPA. So we'll make it faster.
To be discovered, solidly built, effectively managed, reliably run, flexibly engaged with, and for all stages of the cycle, accurately measured and governed in Studio. UiPath enables you to fast-track your automation goals. UiPath offers a platform to support you in every step of the way, from planning to measuring your RPA journey. Let's use an invoice factoring example to show an end-to-end visualization of the UiPath platform. MG Auto is an automotive parts, production, and seller based in Western Europe. What started as a passion for repairing cars some years ago has become a big company today. As it grew bigger and bigger, the product's demand grew exponentially. But the higher the product's demand, the higher the production and logistics costs. To keep these under control, the company sends invoices to its customers every day for the parts that they order. To ensure a healthy operational cash flow, MG Auto makes steady use of credit lines from the bank. As for the bank, it receives the money back directly from the customers when the invoices are due. This is a process called invoice factoring. Mary is an associate from the finance team in MG Auto. She oversees invoice processing. She finds her job interesting, but there are some tasks that she doesn't enjoy as they are repetitive. Automating these tasks would be a solution, but Mary doesn't know how to code, and for the IT department, these tasks are not a priority. Meet Studio X, a tool to democratize automation. Any business user without programming knowledge can build automations using Studio X. It offers seamless integration with File Manager, Microsoft, and G Suite applications, and it can interact with most other applications through their user interface. Mary can easily build the automation herself with simple drag-and-drop actions. Let's see one of the processes that Mary has built that helps sending the invoices for factoring to the bank. As you can see, these are the building blocks of the process. One for each action or set of actions Mary would manually perform to complete the task. Mary finds it easy to build the automation as all of the building blocks are named after the actions that she manually performs. Let's see it running. The robot logs into the application and uploads the invoices into the bank system one by one. Mary can now share this automation with colleagues. She can upload the automation in UiPath Automation Hub, the center of crowdsourced automation ideas. We'll discuss in detail this tool later in the video. For now, Mary submits her automation to an online library of reusable RPA solutions that's accessible to her colleagues. If the automation meets certain requirements, such as potential to bring benefits to a larger audience and code quality, the automation can be approved. Then it's available to be downloaded and used by someone else in her team. Now, let's take a look at the other main actor in the invoice factoring process, the bank. These invoices need to be quickly processed and the corresponding amounts need to be made available to the customers so that their cash flow isn't put at risk. Most of these are scanned documents, hence agents cannot copy and paste essential information out of them. They're forced to manually enter invoice details into the banking applications. As you might guess, banks follow very strict SLAs for processing these requests. John is the commercial loan admin assigned by the bank to MG Auto. He handles all of their invoices for crediting. He processes them one by one and enters the detail in the banking applications. He performs this task on a daily basis. It's repetitive and it needs complete accuracy. He wants his tasks to be automated as this will benefit his entire department. So, John submits his automation request in UiPath Automation Hub. Besides a process repository tool, Automation Hub is also a collaborative process identification and automation pipeline management tool. John must fill in a short questionnaire about the process that he'd like to automate. At the end of this, he'll receive the automation potential score.
So along with UiPath as a studio, there are multiple other tools that normally we need to learn or we need to check out. But if you are looking only for the basic training, or if you are looking only at the learning only the basics, so you can go with Studio. But Automation Hub is a place where we create ideas or where we measure the ideas on and try to understand if any particular solution that we are trying to build, is it really worth building, and is it really worth investing time in building that solution, is what Automation Hub is all about. So we'll just continue.
And this indicates the feasibility of the proposal. Paul, who is assigned to be the idea approver on finance and accounting submissions, will get an email notification containing a link to John's proposal. He knows this department struggles to meet SLAs, so he's happy to approve the request. At this point, the process owner or subject matter expert from the bank's Centre of Excellence will be assigned to this idea on Automation Hub. They provide a detailed matrix of the process, like volumes, variations, and environmental stability. The information submitted will support sustaining the business case. Then, Automation Hub runs an algorithm using the information submitted. It now generates an assessment score, and this reflects the ease of implementation and the savings. The savings indicate the number of hours saved and the costs saved per year. John finds now that his idea was approved, and he gets access to a tool called UiPath Task Capture. This tool records the process steps to generate a detailed process definition information submitted as a skeleton of an automation workflow. This skeleton workflow is used by the Centre of Excellence or COE developers.
So in our program, we'll also be learning with task capture. We have already completed some few meetings in task capture. But again, task capture is used to ideally see if a particular we will be able to record the UI or the screens as well. We will be able to design some flow to make sure that it we are able to understand what exactly is happening. So that's what task capture is all about.
To quickly build the automation, John opens the tool and begins to process the invoice as usual. He opens an invoice and captures the data field by field.
So here one thing to remember is the task capture is not the only tool that we will use to create any kind of flows. Right now we are also using Microsoft Visio in our teams. So if you are having Visio, then you can also use this. But the important or flexible way of using UiPath task capture is like if you can see on the screen, he is trying to automate or select a particular image or particular field. So like how you can record in UiPath Studio, the same way task capture can be used, and we will be able to record whatever is required.
Field. He stops the recording and looks at the result. All of his clicks and checks are recorded. He can mark the validation fields and annotate them with comments. The result includes execution time, applications used, and all of the step-level processes from multiple angles. UiPath also offers.
So we'll just skip on what is what. Now here in the planning wheel, we'll just check with Automation Hub. Then in human-led discovery, we will see with task capture, and in scientific AI-led discovery, we have process mining and task mining, where it records all the activities and it will give us the result.
In the background, you gain insight and build more complex or other repositories and make use. They can fine-tune the selectors.
So here we are just trying to see, or in the video it is being explained about UiPath Studio. The next goes with UiPath Marketplace, where you can download or where you can check with the details. And this is the AI Center, where you can utilize AI modules and you can use in your program. So rather than going on checking each and everything right now, so let's go with the flow, or let's go with the continuous map that is given. And on the right side here we are seeing with robot performing some activity, maybe using uh, AI center of UiPath and trying to work on this activity. Let's continue. This will just be helpful if you continue and learn all the activities first and then come back. Okay, so if you are a citizen developer or if you don't know how to code, you can go with UiPath Studio X. And if you are a business user who is working on automation ideas, then Automation Hub is the tool for you. And for developers like me, like you, most of the people who are watching this stream and who are working, then Studio and AI Center is what we look at. Okay, and if you are IT ops team, then you need to check if the guidelines are followed, and if all the developers are making sure that the required security measures are in place. So that's the team from IT ops will do. So with all the members together, we will form a center of excellence, and center of excellence will be inside an organization, will be collaborating with IT to make sure what on prioritizing what is required and what is not required, and to help all the team members to streamline their process, because not everyone knows how to automate. The COE team can help others or all the other team members. Again, UiPath platform, if you want to learn and if you want to get the details. So these PDFs are very much important if you ask me, because all the basic content you can see over here, like whatever they are mentioning in the video, or even in the interviews, or even in the questions that we get in the exam or in the certification exam. Mostly it will be on these particular concepts or these particular documents. So just have them downloaded and keep them available. In case if you want to refer, you need not go to each and every module. You can just go through few documents and you can get the details. So let's see and let's continue We'll check our understanding. Let's see. There is an 80% score that we need to get. So only low skill jobs will be impacted by automation. So no, that's not true because all kinds of jobs will be impacted by automation. Okay. Now there is a lot of talk about what future work will entail business besides technology approach. A learning strategy for employees must be in place when getting started with the RPA. Yes, we need to have a strategy. We cannot go without any strategy or without any plan on how to work with it. So again, if you are taking or if you are working with UiPath certification, a paid one, then these kind of questions will come, like a matching question, and there can be drop downs that you can get. Well, you can also check with those details. So let's see. RPA and process mining is used to extract the information, identify sorting documents, and distinguish between different types of documents. Is can be done by AI skills or ML models. Let's try to eliminate things, then we will be able to find details much more interesting. Transforming documents from image to digital text is just give it out your replies in the chat. Let's see if you can get it. How many of you, team, can you please, someone please unmute and talk? How many of you are in this current module, like writing the exam? Hello?
Yes.
So, are you following me through the learning path or are you doing self-learning? What exactly is happening? Were you able to follow? Anil, Rishi, Ajay, Mahesh. Is it too fast? Whatever we are discussing, is it too fast? I'm not able to hear you guys. Let me just see if there is an issue with my audio. Can you please speak? I think I'm not able to hear you. Yes, I can hear. Please talk, Mahesh.
Yeah, I'm following my work.
Okay. So, how many modules have you completed so far?
Uh, two modules.
And you are in automation in business or which one?
Automation business.
Yeah, okay. Just try to make it fast. See, not every video is important. You need to be quick enough to continue and make the fast transition. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So what about others? What about others? Uh, yeah, Hirshi, I didn't get you. Okay. Okay, you are continuing at your own pace. Okay, please go ahead. Thank you. So we'll be continuing with our live again. So let's play. Yes. So process mining is used automating SAP through direct integration with the platform instead of relying on user interface. is native integration. So we'll be integrating natively with this one. Next, measuring the amount of money saved is ROI. So that can be done by analytics. Robot is free to execute any automation while waiting for human confirmation. So that is long running workflows. I can be wrong, I may be wrong sometimes, but yeah, we will check and we will continue. Make it faster. RP process mining is used to identify what kind of automations can be done. Discovering, okay. Transforming, so there are only two items remaining, RPA skills and ML models. So we'll be checking on ML models is used to identify different types of documents. AI is used to analyze the skill. Let's see. So yes, all are correct. Let's continue with the next one. RP will not work in creative industries. I'm not sure if that is really true, but it can work. It can help out members in creative industries as well. So match each of the automation cycle with the changes. Okay. So Caraman automates her data entry task using Studio X. So that is building. So I'm just eliminating the odd one out here. Chloe schedules automation to run every Monday. So that is um, manage. Ben uses UiPath Assistant to start day and he runs automation with the COE. So that is engaging with automation. Checks how many hours of work. So that is measure. And the last one is discover. Okay, just to understand it quickly, in discovery process, you will use task capture before sending it to RPA team. In build process, you will build the automation. Manage process, you will need to understand when the bot will run. In engage, you are running or you are working with the robot, measuring. You are discussing or you are checking on how much money is saved. So which Studio X can you automate? Now choose all the options. Chatbots that send weekly work reminders, downloading a report, sending via emails. I think this can be done. Moving values from Excel sheet to other sheet to a web application. This can also be done. End-to-end invoice processing to multiple platforms. This can also be done. So chatbot is something that. Oh, okay. So then let me just. Okay, so the last one is wrong. End-to-end invoice processing cannot be done. Okay, that's fine. Maybe with Studio we will be able to do it. What can RPA do? Emulate or stimulate human actions, work on demand, work continuously, perform tasks with higher accuracy, process data in unstructured format if using AI enhanced capabilities, operate applications with user interface. Are all these answers correct? I think they are correct. Let's submit and see. Yes, it's correct. So how can you interact with automation? You can run automations as needed. This is correct. You can solve the tasks a robot marked as needing human input. I think yes, there is human in loop concept, and you can just go on about your day. Automation will never interact with you, so this is not correct. You can build automation either using low code solution to automate daily tasks or developer solution to automate enterprise process. This is correct. Yes. So what question or doubt do you have? Why did you say no? Huh? Sorry? Yeah, using low code, like UiPath is a low code platform, right? UiPath solution or the business, whatever platform that we are using, there are two, Studio and Studio X. Studio X is for low code for business users. Okay, let's see. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. Is it correct? Robotic Process Automation. Let's continue. Processing invoices, retrieving data from invoices, storing the AI. So RPA and AI can be used with this. Okay, maybe we got 80-90%. That's a good score. How many of you got it? How many of you got around 90% of the score? Just give it out a try. We'll wait for 2 minutes and then we'll continue. Just give it out a try. You can directly go into automation journey, check your understanding, and then give it out. My score is 90. Just post in how much percentage did you get. AI technology, we have UiPath AI Center, where you can create your own modules, your own custom modules, and you can implement them. So that is AI technology with RPA. Okay, let's continue with the journey of RPA implementation. Okay, and there are multiple links that are given in this document, so go ahead and check it out. Well, too many links, I think you can ignore for now, but let's get the details in the next one. So if you want to learn separately UI Studio X, you can go to the course, and if you want to get started with RP development, you can just go to the course over here. Okay, so we will download the UiPath platform resources. So these resources actually will help you in making quick details or understanding quick details. I think this is already done. So let's go ahead and let's see with other details. So web resources, if you want, there are blogs, differences, workflows. So you can just ignore them for now, but once you complete them, you will be able to understand more in terms of RPA. So this particular introduction is completed. So let's go and view the path and let's see. Introduction to RPA. So this is completed. Again, all these details to complete to get the course certification, like I just need to click on start, give it out a survey, and I can strongly agree. Mostly I always give strongly agree irrespective of the question. For now, let's make it quick. No issues. Yes, I'll recommend to everyone. Let's continue. Yep, go with the full path. So completion diploma, complete the course to unlock. Okay, I need to complete the course, only then it will be unlocked. Okay, that's fine. Close. Okay, so I can download my diploma certification. Let's go again with the URL. So if I miss somewhere, I can just go with this URL and I can get back to the stream. So getting started with RPA development, we will be using community version of UiPath Studio for the development. This is absolutely for the beginners, so everyone, even if you don't have any knowledge, so this is just to give you an understanding of how quickly you can go ahead and you can start. So that's what it's all about. Getting started. Yep. Let's start with the module. Skipping all the pre-checks that you can check later. Prerequisites should be your studio should be installed. So try UiPath free. You can go into uipath.com, or the URL that can be used is cloud.uipath.com. Cloud.uipath.com. So here, just go ahead and register yourself. And this is like a hub or orchestrator where you can download, with the studio as well as connect with orchestrator. Everything will be here. Okay. So this is our studio. So if you want to download, you can click here, download UiPath Studio, and you can download. Let's continue. UiPath platform. Well, we'll be covering on the basics on each and everything. Well, if you complete the basics and you take the session or exam, you will still be able to cross around 70 to 80%, which will give you the certification even if it is for paid one. So just go ahead and see how quickly you can do that. Introduction to Studio and all core components. We'll just check with the video transcript. That would be easier. Um, okay. To quickly explain, Studio is a place where you create a automation, and there are three versions. But right now, UiPath again moved into two versions. This particular session or this particular content need to be updated. We have Studio X and Studio only, and Studio Pro is no more available right now in the community version. So UiPath Robot is a runtime environment. It it can be placed in any kind of uh, Windows operating system, and instead of running with Studio, you will be running only directly with Robot. So it's a lightweight program that will help you to automate or run the solutions. So attended robots, there is a difference between attended robot and UiPath unattended robot. So if you want to start some solution from orchestrator, or if you want to run at unattended mode, then you can go with UiPath robot. But if you want to start something, and if you want to have a human in loop, if you want to get information from human at some point of time, then you can go with attended robots. Well, attended robots can be started only with UiPath assistant, so you cannot trigger them directly from orchestrator. Works on a separate machine. It's unattended robot. Okay, so attended robots work along with you, so it will be in your same machine. Job execution is triggered by human users or by related events. So this if it is triggered by human users, then it is attended robot. Okay, job execution is triggered from orchestrator, it is unattended because we need not control it. Works on the same machine as human user, attended bot. Works outside the business hours, it's unattended bot, because with attended bot you need to sit and execute it manually. Here with orchestrator, it's a place where you can deploy, trigger, measure, and provision. So when we say deploy, you can connect with multiple robots at a single place, and you can monitor if the robots are working or not. So all these things are capable with UiPath Orchestrator. We will see with the provisioning and licensing in future videos or future content. But just to understand, monitoring is how you will check with the logs and how you will see if a particular robot is executing properly or not. And let's see quickly and complete this. So please come back to the screen share, everyone, and try to help me out in solving this particular questionnaire. Which of the following is not an orchestrated scalability? Building automations is not automation, it's not scalability. This is correct. So we can store credentials, we can manage, we can connect to unattended bots. Running automations in attended mode is what orchestrated cannot be done because attended bot needs UiPath assistant. So, so I got one answer wrong instead of I know what is the correct answer. Yeah, so that's fine. So I'll just get the correct answers. Okay. Um, I think this is done. Let's go ahead. Okay. Let's see. As a RP developer, you will use Studio family. Yes. Robots. Published automation projects called packages. So if you are creating any solution, if you are publishing it to some other location, that's called a package. So a code that you send to somewhere else or to a different environment is called as a package. Okay. So core components of attended robots, a project, well, whatever you are seeing here, a project is a folder structure. Again, these are folders with files. You publish it as a package. This is a single file which contains multiple files combined, like you can take it as a zip file. And once it is packaged, it will be, this is a folder where it will be published to. Robot interacts with this folder directly with all the files, and UiPath Assistant and user will work with UiPath Assistant. So this is the flow. User will work with UiPath Assistant, and Assistant will work with Assistant is a work with robot. That's a runtime, and robot will use folder and files inside the machine and the packages, and the package is built using a project. Okay. So this is how unattended bot works. Well, instead of user interacting with robot in UiPath Assistant, user will interact only with orchestrator. Orchestrator will interact with unattended robot, and unattended robot will work with orchestrator. So this is the difference, or this is the simple difference with the way how both work. Let's continue. UiPath first run. How does scenario based? Okay, these you can check it later. In order to receive an unattended user license from Cloud Orchestrator, user need to first add in Cloud. I think yes, for an attended user. First, you need to be added as a user in Cloud. Then you will be able to start as attended bot. To which of the following products and profiles will user with Studio Assistant assigned? See, Studio will be assigned if you need to work on develop some code, so Studio X and Studio Pro are the ones that we use to develop the code. Okay, again, let's see the question. To which of the following products and profiles will a user with Studio license? Okay, so it's clearly asking about Studio. So assistant need to be provided because we will be working, or if you want to run an attended bot, then we need this. Maybe if I can take it, then it's fine, but let's see. A Studio license will grant assistant. See, that's what I'm telling, Studio X, but not Studio Pro, which is superior product or unattended robot, which is type of license not meant for human users. Okay, let's see with the other one. Sign in feature connect Studio to assistant, orchestrator, unattended robot. So it will connect you to orchestrator. Which of the following actions can be easily performed by Studio users that are assigned in orchestrator? So you can publish a package to orchestrator, run jobs using published process that you cannot do with Studio, run jobs in automation cloud. Maybe yes, maybe no. What do you say? I think the first one is what I'm thinking. What about the others?
Automation cloud, yes.
Okay, so we'll be able to run with automation cloud. Let's go. See, that's what I said, right? See, automation cloud is a place, like orchestrator is an automation cloud. There, it's not running the code. But I thought that the second option is wrong. That's correct. So being signed into orchestrator, users can publish package. That's understood. As soon as they do that, the process will appear in assistant, thus runs the job. Jobs cannot be run from automation cloud. Okay, so automation cloud is a different entity. So that's what we need to see. Okay, let's see. So knowledge areas, right now we are at an associate developer stage, and there are two other stages, RPA advanced developer and RPA expert. So I am still in advanced RPA developer stage because I need to work with a center. Though I know um, there is no too much extensive work that is being done right now. So if you want to be an RPA expert, then you need to work with all the activities. So there are 7 modules, 7 into 2 it's 14 modules. So if you are able to work with these 14 modules and practice, you can easily get RP associate certification. And if you complete advanced learning plan and practice, then you can complete advanced RP developer certification. Well, how much time will it take to complete all these? If you are having basic developer knowledge, then it's very easy. So let's continue. We'll go only with variables, arguments, UI automations, very simple activities. Okay, so let's hope everyone gets certified through this stream. So these are the preconditions. We need to have UiPath Studio license. We need to have UiPath extensions installed and user data. Let's start. Okay. So we need to create or build some process. So let's go ahead and download the file, user data, and then we'll build. Save. Let's just open it for now. So this is my certification, I guess. Okay, there is a sheet. Playing it faster.
Hello and welcome to this introduction to development with UiPath Studio.
So how many of you are at this phase or at this step right now? Just go into the live and just comment out yes or no. How many of you are at the stage of building your first automation process? So if you want the link, so this link cannot be given or it cannot be given to, I'm not sure if this will work, but just check it out. Just give it a try. How many of you are at this stage? Reply out in the chat of live stream. Okay, let's watch the video.
In this step, we'll sample the key knowledge areas covered in the RPA Developer Foundation Learning Plan to build our first process. The tools, activities, and features used in this demo will be covered in depth in subsequent courses. For the best experience, we'd encourage you to build along with this video. The goal of the process that we're building is to read the latest email in the user's Outlook inbox that has new task as the subject line. It'll download the attached Excel file and then mark the email as read. The rows in the Excel file contain employee names and their job titles. One row at a time, the process will type this data into the RPA Challenge website and then will submit the form. You'll notice in the Excel file that the first and the last names are combined into one cell, while the online form has two separate input fields. This will require us to split this field to separate the first name from the last name. To begin, let's create a new project of process type named Process User Data. We'll provide a brief description of the program's goal as well. The starting screen for our project is displayed. On the left-hand side, we can see the project panel. It enables us to view the contents of the current project, add folders, open the file location, manage dependencies, and adjust project settings. Projects are based on activities, which are organized into workflow files. An empty new project will contain only the main.xaml workflow file. Our process can be broken down into two separate functions. The first, to download the Excel file from the Outlook email and extract the data, and the second, to process the data and enter it into the online form. To organize these two tasks, we'll add two new workflows with the sequence layout to the project. To create a workflow, we just need to right-click inside the project panel, select Add and Sequence. The first workflow will be named Get Data. The second workflow will be named Process Data. We'll learn more about workflows and workflow layouts in the variables, arguments, and control flow in Studio, and the project organization in Studio courses. Let's access the Get Data workflow and start building it. The designer panel for the Get Data workflow is displayed. This is where we can build our automation by managing the activities added to the current workflow file. Note that a sequence container has already been added for our activities. Let's update the display name and add a meaningful annotation to describe the purpose of this sequence. To do this, we'll right-click the sequence and select Annotations, Add Annotation. We'll learn more about best practices in the Project Organization in Studio course. Okay, we're ready to start adding activities to this workflow. Let's open the Activities panel. The Activities panel shows available activities that can be added to the current workflow. We can search for activities by name and optionally by description using the search box at the top of the panel. Let's add a Get Outlook Mail Messages activity to the workflow. Again, we'll update the display name and add an annotation. We'll learn more about email activities in the Email Automation with Studio course. In the Properties panel, let's click on the ellipses in the Filter field to open the Expression Editor. And in double quotes, specify we're only interested in emails where the subject line is new task. We'll enable the markers red option and set the top field to 1. This will limit the number of emails processed. We need to store the output of this activity in a variable, so we'll click on the output messages field and press Ctrl+K to create a new variable here. We'll provide the name mail messages for the new variable. Notice.
So there can be multiple activities that can be shown in the video. So we will do what is more important, like each and every step is important to like working with activities and all, but we'll do what's in our scope or what we can do. Maybe Outlook is not configured in your machine right now, it's not the time to configure. So we'll work only on one activity, that is we will read the Excel, we will split the text format, and then we will add it into the website. So what is shown in the video, you can look, watch, and you can do as is. But this one I'm doing it on my own. So first automation process. So I'm just adding first automation process. So we'll be ending our stream in next 15 minutes. Continuing at this stage may or may not be sufficient. So we'll have it in parts and we'll continue. So according to the video, we need to first read the Excel. So for that, they have used Outlook, but we need not use Outlook. Add sequence. This is get data to read the sequence and add sequence process data. And we'll be using a main to integrate or add multiple workflows at a single instance. So here in get data, see, mostly I will be working only with static information. I will not go into creating dynamic data or adding any Excel files or any config sheets for now. Let's first try to get the details, or let's try to get or understand what is what. Then we'll go further and we'll understand more into what is the best practices and how we can work with the best practices. So let's save it. File, save as, enable saving, file, save as. So browse, I'll just add it at a particular location, user data. So if you observe that in the videos it's asked like John Smith, so you need to split this particular text is what is asked. But if you observe, one or two four files or one or two names are not having second word, or it's not having this last name. So we need to handle that situation as well. We'll just work on very simple activities. Will not go and let's see what is the URL, and then we'll
The variable appears in the Variables tab. You'll learn more about variables in the Variables, Arguments, and Control Flow in Studio course. It's the Studio called its Outlook mail for its input fields.
so this is RPA challenge website. So let's give it out challenge.com. Hopefully this should open, or if it is not opening, yeah, this opened. So all we need to write is last name and first name, and what else do we need? And role in company. Role in company is this one. So only these three things we will do it. We'll not check on what start, or we'll not check on downloading the Excel and all, because for now that's not required and that's not mandatory. Let's quickly understand or get the information. So for this, to read the Excel, we can go with system activities and see if there is workbook activities. There are workbook activities. So these all are excellent workbook activities. And if you want to go with legacy activities, this is the place where you can go. Activities, filter, show classic, workbook. I'll just open or read the workbook, read range, and give out the workbook file path. And what is the name? Sheet 1 is the name of the sheet. And the range can be empty. So just understand how we are giving the naming convention. Press Ctrl K, properties. So this should be sent as an out argument. So for that, what we can do is let's create an out argument, out underscore dt underscore user data. What is shown in the video might be different. I haven't seen the video. Just by understanding the program or understanding what is required, we are trying to write it. So this is in the out direction. So what out direction will do? So it will send the data out of this workflow to a different workflow. That's what the requirement of get data is. Data table. Oh, sorry, this is a data table, and let's give out dt user data. We'll close this one because workbook activities will not work if we have Excel open. Okay, and there is an activity called log or output data table. So one important interview question that you can get is how can you show the table in a console? There is an activity called output data table that will make a table format into a text format, str user text. So let's have a breakpoint over here. So go to debug, click on breakpoint, debug file. We are using only two activities, one activity to read, second activity to display. Other than that, we are not doing anything else. So let's do a step into, but if you go into output, let's see. Since I haven't written output, that's not coming in. Maybe let's try if you can get it in window panel. So immediate window panel is what will be used. Okay, so this came out. This is not declared, that is the reason it's not coming. But if you can see here, out user data, the argument, we have the information something like name and role in company. So we will use this into a different workflow. Let's go to the project and let's get the data. So what this will do, let's stop the flow. We'll be able to complete the activity within next 5 minutes. Import arguments, we will get this data out. So dt control K dt underscore user data. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to iterate or loop in all the values. Further, there is an activity called for loop for each data table, for each row in data table, and dt. Okay, dt user data, and we will send the information to process data. In process data, what we will do, we'll just try to automate or we'll just try to add some information. into the website. The first one is, let's go into app recorder. So here we will use first name, but here we will use type into. But this is the anchor, so let's select with this anchor. Okay, so this is done. You can see all the recorded steps over here, and then let's hit on OK. Okay, so plain text, or you can select in, or you can just give it out control. Let's give it out a name. So this is first name, str, first name, confirm. Okay, and this is str last name. Well, this is not a click activity, so let's wait, type into, and we need to select the anchor as last name. And this is correct, str last name. Okay, and the last one is role in company. Type into. So this is automatically selecting role in company as an anchor. Confirm, and then submit. Okay, so these are the only steps that we are doing. So there is no anchor required for submit, and then we'll just save. Okay, so when you see, this is navigating to RPA challenge, and once you are into RPA challenge, the first name, last name, and role in company is taken. So let's create arguments for this. In underscore first name, in underscore last name, and in underscore. So these are the input arguments that I'm trying to give. Role in company. Just see, I am not giving these in variables, so because variables are scoped only into the file. But if you want to get data from somewhere, because the data is already in main and get data, we need to get it here. So that is the reason we are giving an in argument. Let's give out in underscore first name, and here this should be in underscore last name, and the last one is role in company. Okay, now we are working with current row, right? So every row we need to call this process data flow, and we will send in the information. Okay, here there need to be string manipulation to be done. So can anyone tell me what string manipulation need to be done and why it is required? So instead of row of column name, I'm just giving row of 1.2 string, because this is, I think that is current row. Yeah, this is current row. Current row. So can you tell me what kind of string manipulations are required here in first name and last name? Try messaging in the chat. Let's see. If we are done with this, then this solution is completed. So this is as simple as that. Okay, let's go back and do some code. Here, something that you need to observe is with the user data. User data in the first name or the name contains two words. Sometimes it contains only one word. Okay, so what we need to see is if it is not having space or if it is having empty value, even then we need to send the information. The first name goes here and second name goes here. So the name is what we need to split. So what I'll do, I'll just go ahead to this one, current row of 0 will give me the first item dot split. Okay, let's go ahead and do first name and last name split outside and then we'll come back here. We'll use multiple assign and control K str first name str last name. Okay, and we'll give out current row of name dot toString dot split. We'll split it with a parameter and that is space and C, but we'll add only the first item of split, and here goes the second item of split. So let's see if this will work or not, and then we'll continue. So here goes str first name and here goes str last name. Start the code. Let's run. So here all we are seeing is if the application is already open, let's ask not to open it again because that's not required. Application instance. Okay. Target tab we have. Here message browser. The URL, everything is done. Open. If not open, close. Never. So let's not close it so that we'll continue. Let's debug the flow, but before debugging, if you want to see, enable highlight elements. Debug. So this is my page. Okay, I need to close this Excel, so that's what throwing an error. Retry. Continue. So we can go into the browser. Yes, last name Smith, role in company, analyst, submit. The next one goes first name, last name. If it is not having any name, then let's see what it will do. So for Michael, we don't have a last name, so it just skipped. I think the automation is completed and we are done with all inputs and those are correct. And here comes the last item, which is saying that this is not correct because the first name is done current row. Let's see what is the output and watch this current value str, or we can just give current row and let's see with the value. Okay, this is not having a space and that is the reason it is throwing an error. Let's stop. So what we will do here, instead of directly splitting it, if this current row name dot string, if it contains brackets empty space, only then work with splitting option, or else just give out empty, because it's not required to split it again because there is no space. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now I will run the flow, not debug, run file. Let's see. So whatever string manipulations that we are doing, that I am doing, those are very easy string manipulations. Once you start and learn with them, those are very much easier to understand. Okay, let's see with UI J and C. Okay, so if this is done, then it will close. I think the program is completed and we have all the outputs done, and everything is every data is added up. So let's go into UiPath Academy and video transcript. So the next one, you can just get it out here. For now, I'm going to stop the session, or I'm going to stop the live. Thank you so much for staying up till now and trying to understand. We'll have one more session to work on with the remaining activities, but don't wait for this training or for the sessions. Every video you can see and you can work on it and you can execute it. So that's all for today. Thank you so much, and let's stop the stream.